welcome to the show today. I'm very excited to have with me one of my friends from actually college in the MBA program at the University of Rochester, Keith Povich. He has had a very colorful past in career-wise. No, I'm not referring to anything else. I'm just referring to career. You've done quite a bit. I mean, you've jumped around to many things, between working on Wall Street to working at Apple to right now you're into real estate investing, and you run a company, I Buy Rochester. I believe the website's ibuyrochester.com, correct?
Yep, that's correct, Kevin.
All right, awesome. And now you're going full-fledged into that, which is exciting. And it sounds like it's doing very well for you at this point in time. So good. Congratulations for that.
Well, thank you very much.
So I thought I'd start out by asking you what I ask everyone else. So what has been one of your dumbest personal finance mistakes you've had in your life?
Well, I'm sure like everybody else, we have our follies. One of my biggest ones, as we discussed a little bit earlier, was getting into the mindset of I needed a collegiate degree in order to succeed, and taking on copious amounts of debt to make that dream a reality. The American dream, you have your house, 2.5 kids, a college degree hanging up on a wall, a corporate job, 9 to 5. We all think of it as going through elementary, high school, college. That's where we're going to be placed, lifetime employment. Obviously, these days we know that's fallacy.
Yeah.
Average person will have 3 to 5 jobs just to figuring out what they're doing, and then they'll make it to hopefully a steady career for 10 to 15, if they're lucky enough, if they don't keep bouncing around or get laid off, downsized, right-sized, all of the terms.
Yeah.
So I would say go through the program at the assignment school where we went. It definitely opened up doors. I would not have got a gig on Wall Street as an analyst without it. But with that, it comes certain risks. I mean, yes, the 6-figure salaries are nice, but then you're also giving up 16-hour days, and they ask a lot of you. Towards the end, I mean, I only worked there 4 months before I just got sick of it, and I literally left one Tuesday before lunch. I just walked into my boss's office and said, "This is it for me. I wish you guys the best." He was infuriated, told me I'd never work there again, and I said, "I'm glad we're on the same page."
Nice.
Yeah, so, but the people on my own team were trying to undercut work that I had been doing in order to boost themselves up in the eyes of the boss.
Yeah, very competitive.
And just that, very competitive. And that's just not what I'm about. If we're on the same team, we'll get there together. It's kind of very Japanese oriented, where they are just teammates for life.
Yeah.
And then they just work together as a team. American is not that same. America does not have that same system. So, just taking on the debt and the energy required to pay off the debt is just going to be enormous in the coming years. I mean, I've kind of positioned myself well with real estate to be able to do that and not have to work 16-hour days, grinding to the bone to do it. So it was kind of a trade-off between the collegiate degree. I could have been making what I am today had I been shown the correct path without a college degree and taking on that debt necessary.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my biggest things to date. I mean, I'm kind of a young guy. I'm only 30, so I still have a long way to go, and I'll probably make several more terrible mistakes financially.
Yeah.
But to the day, I will hopefully be making a lot smarter decisions now, knowing what I know.
Yeah.
About just the world in general, and hopefully that this message will get to somebody who makes a difference too, to try out their own little venture and see where it happens. If not, call me up. If you're looking to become a real estate investor, I could definitely guide you on the way.
Well, good. Well, thanks for the shout out for being helpful and stuff like that. I'm sure, hope someone takes you up on that, but it is definitely a hard thing. I mean, we are really taught and indoctrinated with the idea of college and piece of paper and stuff like that, where, I think for some, it definitely is the right choice. And some people need that. But unfortunately, not everyone needs that. And it's not something that everybody can do anymore. At least not the way it historically has been done. So I've talked to a few other people, and they talk about, they refer to it as the bubble that's about to burst, following the real estate. And I think it's so true. I mean, you can't just blindly go to college and expect to have everything turn out perfect. So
Correct. And even though when it does turn out perfect, you get your quote unquote dream job on Wall Street working as the numbers guy, the finance guy, the guys behind the salesman pushing numbers, making recommendations. It's a trade off. It definitely is. Like, do you want to? I mean, for me, it was a soul versus paycheck obligation,
yeah,
and my soul won out. I mean, I had an apartment, I had one bedroom on the Lower East Side. I was going out every night. I didn't have time to cook, so I had to keep ordering takeout. So it kind of was do I want to really start a family up, start something of my own, or would I just want to continue down this path for however long they would have had me?
yeah,
So it really was a matter of making the decision internally and the trade-off involved of, do I want to go out on my own and possibly eat ramen noodles again for a couple of months, couple of years while I decide what I'm doing? Because it took me probably about a year before I really settled down after I pulled out of my job down there to decide on what I wanted to do. A lot of education, a lot of online, like how do I build wealth? What is the best way to get rich? I mean, simple concept like that. You just throw in the Google search and then you just come across constant themes over and over again. Well, I did at least. And it was just a matter of real estate was the place for me. Yeah, it really was. My grandfather was a broker in New York City for years when I was a kid growing up, so I always saw him going into apartments collecting rents. Never really understood the process, but I just know that these people were paying my grandfather to live places.
yeah. So it sounds like on the flip side of your worst decision, it turned into eventually one of the best personal finance decisions as far as career and money-wise. I don't know, unless you have another story that you'd like to share in regards to that. But
well, it was kind of going from a six-figure salary down to nothing that really made me sit down and go, okay, I know I could do this again. How do I do it? Yeah. So, and then, I mean, we see all the things online about no money down investing in real estate and all this stuff to get people to buy the gurus packages.
Yeah.
And I haven't bought one to date, so that's good for me. I'd just rather do all of the free online resources available, and it's worked out fine. I was telling you earlier, I started. What was it, 4 or 5 months ago? I've already have 12 houses, so it's just been a matter of finding the right people to work with as well. I have a partner now who's been absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Fortunately, he's a website designer, so that kind of was a huge lack of my skill. So it was great to find someone capable and able to research and how to develop the proper website, the SEO, all the stuff that is necessary for today's kind of online business / traditional hybrid market we have.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. It sounds like you have the perfect partner and a very good setup worked out at this point, and that sounds great. So I'm going to go ahead at this point and conclude the show, but we are going to talk more in the podcast. So if you want to hear more with Keith and I, please tune in there, and we'll go from there. Thank you so much for your time today, Keith.
No problem, Kevin. It was a pleasure.